On the channel today, we're going to build a race truck. So stay tuned and check it out. So welcome back to the channel. Today's video, as you saw on the intro there, we're going to build the TT01 Type E chassis with the Tankpool racing truck. Now it's an absolutely fantastic looking kit. A lot of work goes into it. The chassis itself is quite easy to build, just a basic TT01E type chassis, but the body it's probably up there with, you know, it's probably like a 7 to 8 out of 10 difficulty. So let's flick to a bit of a build montage of the chassis coming together and some of the upgrades that I made to the chassis while I was going. Now I don't think they were sort of official upgrade parts, but as always I've got a huge parts bin here, so we made a few little custom upgrades, so stay tuned and check those out. And then we'll take a quick little break, we'll get some sunshine. I'll come back and wrap the chassis up and then we'll get on to building the body. But as always guys, make sure you hit like and subscribe, chuck some comments down below. You can also catch me on Facebook and Instagram. All of those links will be in the description down below. So let's get on with the build. In step 1, we start by attaching the propeller shaft and spur gear. As you can see, I've opted for an option set of gears and propeller shaft. Although the kit does come with a torque tuned motor, I thought I would step it up to a sport tune for a little bit of extra power. As you can see here, we are setting up the rear differential assembly once we've installed the motor. The differentials go together quite easily with the bevel gear design. As you can see, I've upgraded the kit with ball bearings. Be careful when building the TT01 and TT02 chassis, as when you start attaching the rear arms, you need to ensure that you have the right wheelbase. Following attaching the rear arms and rear axles, you then attach the rear bumper in step 9. Pay close attention in step 10. There's lots going on in this step when we're attaching the rear axles. So far the chassis has come together quite easily. Just need to make sure you pay attention to the instructions, but so far it's very much a beginner's build. Be mindful in step 13 everybody. Lots of people forget to put a bearing in front and behind the plastic P3 part, so make sure you do, otherwise the propeller shaft will vibrate. So steps 14 right through to 18, we're just pretty much copying exactly what we did to the rear of the car and applying it to the front. So far this is a fantastic build and I would recommend it to anybody starting out in the hobby. step 19, it tells us to start attaching and building some of the friction shocks, and as you can see, I have chosen not to use the factory friction shocks but yet upgrade to some oil dampers. Step 20 is the steering assembly. So as you can see, I have not used the factory plastic fixed steering arms. I instead have made some adjustable arms and added ball bearings to the steering unit. This will give me adjustability and a lot smoother steering. And before you know it, it's time for the electronics. Now I've just used a fairly standard servo here, nothing special, and I've opted to maintain the original TBLE 02 speed controller as it will be perfect for the Sport Tune motor. Once I was happy with the electronics, it was time to install the top chassis brace and the wheels. So as you can see, I'm testing the oil dampers that I optioned onto the kit. They work very well, and there is no skipping and jumping that you'd normally find with the friction shocks. So as you can see, the chassis came together absolutely beautifully. Very basic chassis, and some of those upgrades that I made while we were building it will definitely make it handle better, drive smoother, and probably perform better on the track, especially with those oil dampers, the full bearing kit, some of the bearings that I added to the steering, and the alloy prop shaft also. So all in all, it's going to be a beautifully smooth kit to drive. So let's take a little bit of a break, get outside, enjoy some sunshine, then we'll come back and we'll crack on with building the body. Take your time when masking the body. Tamiya only supplies the window mask, so you will need to go and buy some good quality masking tape. I highly recommend the Tamiya masking tape as you get a crisp line. But don't worry, the paint always has a habit of finding a way through the masking, so always make sure you have some polycarbonate cleaner on standby. As you can see, the box art colours look fantastic together. The red is backed with white and it really gives it that extra pop. As you can see, I have applied the decals and I went a little bit moderate. I didn't go overboard, and I think it's turned out quite nice. So I must say that the most rewarding part of this kit is probably the body, guys. Now, as you can see there, fair bit of masking, a lot of sort of cutting and preparation to get the body in a nice sort of state where it looks presentable. Now, I went a little bit above and beyond, and obviously I went box art just because I do like that black and the red. It really pops. I didn't go overkill with the decals. I kept it quite basic. But I did, as you would see there, I did spend a little bit more time and put a little bit more detail into the motor section here. As I said, I'm not overly sure. I'm not going to be taking this to sort of club meets and really bashing it with other sort of truck series classes, just because I think during the build here I've probably put a few things in the chassis, like the Sport Tune motor, that might sort of exclude me from any club meets. So I'm just going to use this as a nice light runner for myself, and I just really wanted that extra detail in the chassis section there, because I think it really needs it. And obviously there's a few decals in the kit that they give you, but I think that extra sort of detail of the exhaust and the turbo, some of the oil catch cans and whatnot, really make this pop as a kit. Well, that's it for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the TT01 Type E race truck build. I absolutely loved it, and it was definitely a kit that I was on the fence about buying. Wasn't sort of sure where it sits in the collection, but I'm absolutely stoked that I bought it. And the TT01 E-type chassis is absolutely a beautifully smooth running chassis, and I do plan on bringing some more on-road vehicles to the channel. So as always, hit like and subscribe if you want to see those videos. Chuck a nice comment down below and give me a thumbs up. So that's it for today's video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.